Hey everybody, Fifth Horseman here, playing more Kerpollo Space Program, and we are not going to Pole, as I had mentioned earlier. I will discuss why in a little bit, but we are going to Ike after, of course, we collect some science on the launch pad, and we've got two new science-y things that we unlocked at the end of last episode, and we also got reaction wheels, which I unlocked just before I built this craft. At the end of last episode, I was trying to decide, do I want reaction wheels or do I want the engines with gimbaling, and I chose reaction wheels, and I will show you why. This thing basically wouldn't be able to roll itself around without them. Let's go ahead and save it turned over and launch it. The important thing here is that no Kerpollos are going to be used to collect all this science. We're going to collect the seismic scan and the atmospheric pressure scan. We are going to keep, and then recover. And then we're going to do it again. And I'm not going to show you all these things, because this is a lot like it was before, where, however, it's a lot... I was afraid of that. I was afraid that was going to happen. Can I keep going? I can, and I still have both of the things. So let's go ahead and I will tell you what, we can do the readings from KSC here. Let's go ahead and keep it and recover. It survived a flight. And now let's go ahead and try to get it in the air. This is an interesting one here. Yeah, if you thought the reaction wheels were strong before, look at its head is still sitting there. If you thought the reaction wheels were strong before, I'm going to try to launch this guy. Okay, that turns him, so yeah, this should do it. Ah! I was trying to get it from the air. Obviously, that's not going to work. And let's see if I can... Oh. It's spinning like a top. It's getting pretty good speed record here. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna play around with this thing. I'm basically gonna do what I did at the beginning of the last two episodes, which is run it around the Space Center, not blowing it up, ideally, and collecting the science from all the biomes in the area, and then we'll launch the real ship. So, whoa, he is so strong. That's crazy. There we go. Okay, now we can go down the... Okay, gotta use these guys for that, and then... Yeah, it's crazy how strong this thing is. Okay, well anyway, I'll do this, and I will be back when I am ready to actually launch. Okay, I gave up trying to be smart about it. And I gave up not being smart about it, I guess. And I built this thing. This crazy, crazy thing. It is not working very well, though, to be honest. It just wants to... It wants to keep breakdancing here. But... Yeah, and the amount of science I'm going to get is so tiny, it's like not even worth it. There we go. See, but these things are strong enough that... they can keep it going. But what I need to do is I need to build a more of a car-looking thing. But I'm not even going to bother. I'm just gonna launch. And what I'm going to launch is Kerpollo B, which is significantly smaller than Gilpollo B. Not Kerpollo. Ikepollo B. And I'm not going to be playing. Nathan and Incro aren't going to be going. This is going to be Waffles, who I don't even know if you still watch. If you do, make a comment and say, hey, thanks for putting me on a ship. We are going to launch this guy. And look at that ship. Look how crazy this is. This is the first ship I've ever made that it's reverse asparagus. When the first stage goes, this middle part's going to drop away, and these two are actually going to keep pushing the ship up. Or reverse onion, I guess, because asparagus implies multiple things. But anyway, yeah, it's got 4 of these things, and you know what I just realized? Oh, wait, it doesn't need the barometer. It has the, yeah, sadly, it doesn't need anything that I just unlocked, the barometer and the seismometer. You know what? It could use a seismometer. I'll be right back. Okay, we're back Waffles now has a seismometer, because, yeah, I realized when I was building this thing, I didn't put the barometer on there because we're going to Ike, but you can take seismometer readings from Ike. But anyway, let's go ahead and crank up the volume. Let's count down to 3, 2, 1, and launch. And this guy looks pretty good off the pad, rising up. He's crazy looking, but basically these guys are feeding into, or sorry, this guy is feeding out of himself into these guys. And then when he is done, I'm going to let go of him, and he's only attached on this side, but these struts here are going to keep it from jumping, from flying away when it detaches. And in a perfect world, it will fall straight down. That is what we call, in the rocketry business, Plan A. Now, we don't need goo readings or materials bays from Kerbin or the Sun, but we do need one from high over high over I can't say the words. High over Duna. Then we need one from high over Ike, low over Ike, and landed on Ike. That's what these 4 are for. And here goes our rocket. Let's hope it doesn't blow up. Don't blow up. Don't blow up. I didn't blow up. Okay, good. And they still got struts holding these guys together, which is important. So yeah, that's what these 4 things are for, and this is the only rocket other than these 2 guys who are pushing this thing into space. This guy's going to do all the lifting to get to Ike and land on Ike and come home from Ike. These fuel tanks here, we might have to carry them a little ways just to get this thing to be high over Ike, but not too bad. I don't think it's going to be that bad, especially if we can hit Ike from aiming at Duna from like just getting out of Kerbin's sphere of influence, which I suspect we'll be able to do, simply because Ike is a big target. Let's face it, Ike is a big target. So our apoapsis is almost at 10,000, which is when I like to do my turn here. I have, oh, I forgot, I have like no reaction wheels on this guy. Yeah, even though I unlocked reaction wheels, I didn't put any on this ship. Because honestly, I don't think I need them. Once these things are gone, he's pretty small. He'll be nimble enough to get the job done. But, yeah, other than this, it's basically the same launch you've seen me do hundreds of times. So I will meet you as we're approaching orbit. And here we are. We're almost out of fuel. We are pretty low in the atmosphere, and we still got a lot of orbit to get. But we should be fine. I hope. Goodbye. Now we've got this little piddly engine to get us the last bit of the way, but we're almost 2,000 meters per second, which is pretty darn good when it comes down to it. Plus, we can physics warp with this guy. So I'm just going to you notice it like crinkles these things together, but not a big deal. So we're going to get this guy up to come on. Stay like that. There we go. We're going to get up to an apoapsis of 80, which we're at now. And then we're going to cruise this guy up into space, and then we are going to get our periapsis up to 80. Notice our periapsis is almost above the ground anyway now, so we're fine as far as that's concerned. The big problem is basically when this fuel runs out at Ike, which it's going to do, it's going to run out before we even get away from Kerbin. We're going to drag these things all the way there, and oh well, it's not a big deal compared to the weight of the materials bays that we're dragging along, that we would be dragging along anyway. The fuel tanks aren't that big, but who knows? We might run out of fuel, and if we do, Waffles, we'll send somebody up to get you. So that'll be part of the mission. It'll be fun. So we're almost to 80. We're, what is that, 2 minutes away? I think we're going to have to burn maybe for 20 seconds to get up there. So we're going to go down to about 15 or so, and I'm going to crank up the engines here. And when I say 15, I mean this number up here, minutes to apoapsis, which just passed 30. Crank this up. The timer is still going down, which is good. We've almost got our periapsis above the ground, though, which is awesome. And there we go. We are above ground. We're basically just sitting here burning at our apoapsis, waiting for our periapsis to get above the atmosphere, which is going to happen any second now. Okay, it's at 70. Gonna get it closer to 80 so we have a nice round orbit here. 80 by 80. That's good by me. Okay. Now we're gonna rotate so we are in the sun a little bit. We do have solar panels on this guy, which is nice. Now he's gonna have to wait for a Mars window, and I still don't trust Alarm Clock to generate windows. I did some testing, and I still can't figure out why it's not doing it, but I'm just not going to let it try. So what we're going to do is a trick somebody told me on the forums. This is pretty cool. We want a Mars window, and I don't want to go on the internet to find it. Well, we get a Mars window by burning prograde. So we're going to do that. We're not going to do it, actually. We're going to plan for that. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to actually fast forward so we're beyond the point where we would do this. There we go. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to plan this burn just to leave Kerbin's sphere of influence. No further. As soon as this gets my apoapsis outside of Kerbin's sphere of influence, I'm going to dial it back just to the point where it leaves. Just to the point where it leaves. We're almost there. And I'm so glad Moon is screwing up my plan here. Come on. There we go. And just a little bit more. There. Okay. Oh, I did that again. I love Precise Node for many reasons, but this reason in particular, when you accidentally scroll wheel your your node. Now, what this is going to do is this is going to give us an orbit that is basically the same as Kerbin's orbit, but slightly in front of it. And I did it again. Dang it all. I wish you could turn that off. What are you doing? Okay, I'm going to do this with Precise Node. +1. +1. Okay, we're out of Kerbin's sphere of influence. And notice, the orbit is basically the same as Kerbin's orbit. So if I set a node here on a maneuver on this alarm, and I set it to speed up, this is going to be pretty much exactly as if I had done this from Kerbin's orbit. And then I can set Duna as my target, and then see where it's going to be when we're here. And then we can say, okay, well, we need to go a little bit sooner. Actually, it looks like we might be able to get away with this very soon. And you have to fiddle with going closer and farther. But yeah, right around there. So we're actually really close. So when we get to this point it says it's a year from now, which is wrong because that's a Kerbin year. So we need to -1 orbit of it. Apparently we can't. Oh, because it's on our next orbit. That's a problem. Yeah, but this is here. How far is this? Still a year away. Well, that didn't work. I mean, it will work, actually. You know what? Actually, I think that's just what it's going to have to be. Now we've actually got an encounter there. Problem is my plan won't be good from there. But roughly when Kerbin is here, see if we delete this now, then... Now this is 29 days away. See, it didn't work. This is supposed to work, and it's supposed to be awesome. But it's not. I think we need to go forward in time a bit so that gets behind us. So... And it's probably going to be about 29 days. So I'm going to warp forward 29 days, which I'm not going to do in low Kerbal orbit because it's going to take forever. Instead, I'm going to switch to Ikepollo A, which apparently... Oh, there it is. And I'm going to fast forward here. I'm here 29 days. And the cool thing is when you do this, because I made the maneuver node on that ship, it's going to give me the option to jump to it. So let's just jump to the ship. We don't really need the maneuver node. Okay, we don't need this maneuver node alarm, so now we need to do the whole thing again. So I'll be back when I actually have one that will work for me. Okay, it turns out that I'm in the exact spot where I want to be to make this burn, so I think I'm just going to do it. It's not exactly what I have, but I'm not 100% sure I can get it any better. Oh, I guess I can. Okay, I'm doing this. It's in 26 minutes. It's 1,000 meter per second burn, and I've got about half of it with this thing, and then I got to drag it the rest of the way. But, so this is going to take 1:49, so I'm just going to guess it's going to take 4 minutes to do this, give or take. So I'm going to start at T minus 2 minutes, which means we get to watch Kerbin fly by here. Let's go ahead and crank up the... Oh, I guess I already had it cranked up. Crank up the ambient light just a little bit. Watch the cities go by. Kerbal Space Center is going to be going by us in a second here. I think this is Kerbal Space Center's continent. Nope, that's the asteroid collision. Nope, there's Moon. Hey, Moon. Cruising along here. Oh, there we go. That's Kerbal Space Center down there. So, in 1 minute, we are going to hit the gas in this direction here. And yeah, about 4 minutes. So that's pretty much perfect. So we're going to do this burn. We are going to speed up time again at 4 times. We're going to let this thing go, and I'm not going to steer it while I'm in time acceleration. I'm not telling you that. I'm telling myself that because I have a tendency to accidentally try to steer myself while in time acceleration, causing many, many, many problems. But we're at about the halfway point here of the burn, so I'm going to turn off the thing here just to get us all set up again correctly. Get us back in speed mode. And we'll have to do a mid-course burn. I mean, that's just the way it works, but this won't be too bad. We're also in fuel waste mode right now, where we're dragging fuel tanks along that we could, in theory, ditch, but we're not going to because they're also carrying the science that we have, which of course means Kerbal Alarm Clock, or I'm sorry, Kerbal Engineer is not correctly guesstimating our meters per second. Right now it's overestimating because it thinks we should dump these right now. But here we go. We're almost there. Almost got the burn done. Just a mere 7 seconds to go. And I'm just watching the blue dot. Oh, this is in my new nav ball. I hope you like it. 3 meters per second. Might as well be exact. Nothing stopping us. Waffles likes to be exact. Okay. And we are good to go. Ideally, we will have that encounter. We don't. So let's speed up a little bit and see if that helps or hurts. Seems to be helping. It seems to be helping, he says. Yeah, let's watch it like this here. Okay, that has an encounter now. So where is Duna? There it is. Let's focus our view on Duna, because ideally we would like to get an Ike encounter. But it looks like we're going to have to do this at our ascending node, which is going to be right here. So I think we'll be fine right here, our descending node, I guess. Because even though it's 2, it says that we're at 0, we're obviously not, because we're coming in a little bit south. So we're actually going to want to burn normal positive, which is going to bring it up into Ike's orbit almost. And then probably, I'm going to guess, radial away from the sun, towards the sun. And boom, Ike encounter. For a mere 2 meters per second, we can get a pretty nice Ike encounter, to be honest with you. And I think I'm going to take it. So that's the last meters per second that we're going to waste, because after we do this burn, if we can get a good Ike encounter, we are going to be able to do the science and then dump the containers. I'll actually try to get, maybe I'll try to get a collision with Ike so that the containers crash into Ike. Although, honestly, I don't care. I could throw them into space for all I care. There's asteroids now, so we can leave our own space junk out there. So, things are looking good so far. Let's go ahead and fast forward this guy. Let's get ourselves aimed so that when the sun does eventually rise, we're at least somewhat facing it. There it is. There goes Mother Kerbin. Waffle's not the first man to leave Kerbin's sphere of influence. However, he will be the first Kerbal to... he'll be the furthest out Kerbal to ever leave Kerbin. He already is, probably. He's the furthest from the sun a Kerbal has ever been. And we are going to close the alarm on pause. We are now in the sun's sphere of influence, which is pretty cool. We are 79 days away, so I'm going to speed this up, and I'm going to tell you what the plan is going forward here. The reason I didn't go to Jool to go to Pole this episode is I've decided to make this a little bit harder for myself, and I'm going to force myself to do Jool as one big mission. There isn't going to be a Pole Pollo and a Bop Pollo and a Lathe Pollo. There's going to be a Jool Pollo, and it's going to be a huge mission that has 5 landers, or at least 3 landers, that are going to take somebody down to the surface of each planet to do all the sites and then come back up to the mothership, and then the mothership is going to bring them back, or him probably, it'll probably be them, back to Kerbin. And it's going to be one of the centerpieces of this game. And I am not going nearly fast enough for what I'm telling you. It is going to be one of the centerpieces. The other centerpiece is going to be Ikepollo, which is going to be the landing and return from Eve, which is going to be crazy. So I'm looking forward to that. Those will probably be the last 2 things I do. And we are now less than a day away, and we're slowing down. I do love Kerbal Alarm Clock, as much grief as I give it, or as much grief as it gives me, I guess. Let's go ahead and get ourselves turned back to the sun, because while I was smart enough to bring solar panels, I was not smart enough to bring batteries. So I've got 50 electric charge, which is all that's in here. And I just realized I also brought this monoprop, which I didn't want to bring. Not a big deal. It is weight that I'm dragging all the way to Duna and back, but hey, what are you going to do?